A shocking day in the life of Marcus, the car painter. Hi there. My name is Marcus, and I'm a car painter. I work in a small garage that smells like fresh paint and has tools hanging on the walls. For me, painting cars is not just a job, it's my passion. I love transforming old, damaged vehicles into bright, shiny machines. My dream has always been to paint cars for famous people. Today felt special because I had a custom job for a celebrity client. Little did I know that my day would turn into something I could never imagine. Chapter 1: A Normal Start. The sun peeked through the window as I woke up to the sounds of my garage. I could hear the faint hum of my spray gun from last night, reminding me of the work I had planned. As I stretched and got out of bed, the sweet smell of paint lingered in the air, a scent I had grown to love over the years. I grabbed my favorite breakfast, a simple bowl of cereal, and sat at the small table in my garage, looking out at the cars parked outside. Today was different. I was filled with excitement and a little nervousness. A famous actor was bringing in his vintage car for a custom paint job. This was my chance to prove myself and show that I could handle high-profile work. I thought about how this job could change my life. Maybe it would bring more clients and help me make a name for myself. After breakfast, I quickly cleaned up and headed to my workbench. My tools were neatly arranged, and I could already see the car waiting for me outside, covered in a tarp. I smiled to myself, thinking about the vibrant colors I had planned for it. I was ready to make it shine. Chapter 2: The Celebrity Client. As I prepared my materials, I imagined what it would be like to work with a celebrity. Would he be friendly? Would he appreciate my work? I could picture him arriving, and I wanted to make a great first impression. I made sure my overalls were clean and put on my favorite cap. Then, I took a deep breath and stepped outside. When I pulled the tarp off the car, I was in awe. It was a beautiful classic model, but it had seen better days. The paint was chipped, and there were scratches all over. I knew that with my skills, I could turn it into a masterpiece. Just then, I heard the sound of a car approaching. My heart raced as I turned to see a sleek black SUV pull up in front of my garage. The door swung open, and out stepped the actor. He was just as I imagined, charismatic and full of energy. "Hey, man. I'm excited to see what you can do with my baby," he said, giving me a big smile. "Thanks. I promise to make it look amazing," I replied, feeling more confident. We talked for a while about the design and colors he wanted. He shared stories about his adventures and why this car was special to him. I felt inspired and eager to get started. Chapter 3: The Mysterious Package. After the actor left, I felt energized and ready to work. I carefully examined the car, taking notes on all the details I needed to fix. But just as I was about to begin, I noticed a package on my doorstep. It was small and wrapped in brown paper with no return address. It had a warning label on it, which made me feel uneasy. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to open it. As I peeled back the wrapping, I found an old photograph inside. My heart sank when I recognized the car in the picture. It was one I had painted years ago, and it was involved in a terrible accident. I remembered the news reports and how the driver had been blamed for what happened. What is this doing here? I muttered to myself, feeling a chill run down my spine. My hands shook as I held the photograph. Why would someone send this to me? Did it have something to do with my new job? I couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a coincidence. Chapter 4: Digging into the Past. Determined to find answers, I decided to dig into the story behind the photograph. I remembered the details of the accident. The driver had been a well-known figure in the community, and the crash had made headlines. As I flipped the photograph over, I noticed a name written in faint pencil, David Green. I had heard that name before, but I couldn't quite place it. I grabbed my laptop and started searching online. The more I read, the more I learned about David Green. He had been a promising racer before the accident derailed his career. People whispered that the crash had been more than just a mistake, that there were darker forces at play. I felt a knot in my stomach as I realized I was getting pulled into something far beyond just painting a car. As the evening fell, I decided to visit the local library. Maybe I could find more information about David and the accident. The library was quiet, and I scanned through old newspapers and records, piecing together the story. The deeper I dug, the more secrets I uncovered. Chapter 5: Uncovering Secrets. It turned out that the accident was not just a tragic event, it was shrouded in mystery. There were rumors of sabotage and hidden agendas. The more I learned, the more I felt like I was stepping into a dangerous world. I needed to find out why someone would send me the photograph and what connection it had to my work. Days passed, and I continued my investigation. I spoke to old mechanics and local racers who had known David. They shared their theories and fears, hinting at a conspiracy that had never been resolved. I could feel the weight of the mystery pressing down on me, but I was determined to uncover the truth. One afternoon, while I was at the garage, I noticed a figure watching me from a distance. My heart raced as I approached him. "Can I help you?" I asked, trying to sound brave. The man stepped forward, his expression serious. "You're Marcus, right? You've been asking questions about David Green." I nodded, feeling a mix of fear and curiosity. "Yes, I am. Do you know something about the accident?" He glanced around, then lowered his voice. "You should be careful. Some people don't want the truth to come out." Chapter 6: Facing Danger. His warning echoed in my mind as I returned to my garage. I felt like I was being watched, and I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following me. I knew I had to finish the car for my celebrity client, but now I was tangled in a web of secrets and threats. Late one night, as I worked on the car, I heard a noise outside. My heart raced, and I stepped out of the garage, trying to find the source. That's when I saw a shadowy figure lurking near my workbench. "Who's there?" I shouted, trying to sound brave. The figure turned and bolted down the street. I chased after him, but he was too fast. I returned to the garage, my heart pounding. I had to protect my work, but I also needed to protect myself. I locked the doors and sat down, trying to gather my thoughts. The next morning, I decided to take a different approach. I contacted the local police to report the strange happenings. I needed someone to help me, but I was also worried they might not take me seriously. Would they understand that I was in danger? Chapter 7: Seeking Help. When I arrived at the police station, I explained everything: the package, the photograph, the figure watching me. The officer listened, but I could see the doubt in his eyes. "Are you sure you're not just overreacting?" he asked. I felt frustrated but remained calm. "No, something is wrong. I need your help to figure this out." After some back and forth, the officer agreed to take my statement seriously. He promised to look into it, but I could tell he thought I was just an anxious painter. I left the station feeling a mix of relief and fear. At least I had taken a step to protect myself. That evening, I returned to my garage and continued working on the car. I wanted to finish it despite everything happening around me. As I painted, I tried to focus on the colors and the details, but my mind kept wandering back to the photograph and the secrets I had uncovered. Chapter 8: The Final Reveal. As the days went by, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was getting closer to something big. I spent my nights researching and my days painting. Finally, I received a call from the police. They had information about David Green and his accident. I rushed to the station to meet with the officer. "We found something," he said, looking serious. There were reports that someone tampered with David's car before the race. "We think it was sabotage." My heart sank. This was what I had suspected all along. But why? I asked, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. The officer explained that David had been about to expose some shady dealings in the racing world. "It seems someone wanted to silence him," he said. "And now, it looks like they might be interested in you too." I felt a chill run down my spine. I was in deeper than I had ever expected. What should I do? I asked, my voice trembling. "Stay alert and don't work alone. We'll have someone keep an eye on you," the officer replied. I nodded, knowing that I needed to be careful. Chapter 9: The Showdown. With the police watching over me, I continued to work on the celebrity car. I poured all my energy into it, determined to finish what I had started. As the days passed, I felt a mix of fear and excitement. I was nearing the end of my project, but the shadow of danger loomed over me. One night, as I was closing up the garage, I noticed a familiar figure watching me from across the street. It was the man I had spoken to before. He seemed different this time, more aggressive. I felt a knot in my stomach as I approached him. "What do you want?" I demanded, trying to sound tough. He stepped closer, his voice low and threatening. "You're digging too deep, Marcus. Just let it go." I stood my ground, fueled by a mix of fear and anger. "No. I need to know the truth about David and the accident. You can't scare me away." He laughed, a cold, harsh sound. "You have no idea what you're getting into." Just then, I heard sirens in the distance. The man's expression changed, and he turned to run. I watched as he disappeared into the shadows, my heart racing. The police had arrived just in time. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but I knew this was far from over. Chapter 10: The Truth Comes Out. The following day, the police informed me that they had arrested the man who had been watching me. He was connected to the scandal surrounding David Green's accident. I felt a strange mix of relief and fear. I was glad to have some answers, but I knew there were still many questions left. As I completed the custom car for my celebrity client, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was still in danger. The truth about David's accident had been revealed, but I had a sense that there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered. I finished the paint job with care, pouring my heart into every stroke. The day of the reveal came, and I was both excited and nervous. The celebrity arrived to see the car for the first time, and I could see his eyes light up as he admired the work I had done. "This is incredible, Marcus," he exclaimed, giving me a pat on the back. "You really outdid yourself." Hearing those words filled me with pride, but I couldn't ignore the shadow of danger that lingered. As the event progressed, I kept an eye out for any signs of trouble. Chapter 11: A New Beginning. As I stood in the crowd, I felt a mix of emotions: pride, fear, and hope. My work was being recognized, and I had overcome so much. But I also knew that the past still had its grip on me. The police continued to investigate the scandal, and I hoped that more answers would come to light. After the event, I decided to take a break from the garage and go for a walk. I needed to clear my mind. As I strolled through the neighborhood, I reflected on everything that had happened. I had faced danger, uncovered secrets, and fought for my dreams. I realized that I had grown stronger through this experience. I was no longer just a car painter. I was someone who had faced challenges head-on. I knew that I could handle whatever came my way in the future. Epilogue: Moving forward. In the weeks that followed, my life slowly returned to normal. I continued to work on cars, taking on new projects and clients. The police wrapped up their investigation, and the truth about the accident was finally made public. David Green's legacy was restored, and I felt proud to have played a part in uncovering the truth. I also learned the importance of trusting my instincts and standing up for what I believed in. The mysterious photograph had changed my life in ways I never expected. I had faced danger and emerged stronger. Now, every time I step into my garage, I am reminded of that shocking day and the lessons it taught me. I continue to paint, driven by my passion and my dreams, knowing that no matter what challenges lie ahead, I have the strength to face them.